In the pursuit of our dreams, we find the true meaning of our existence. Sir Earnest Shackleton. We go out into the void spaces of the world for various reasons. Some are actuated simply by a love of adventure. Some have the keen thirst for scientific knowledge, and others are lured away by a mysterious fascination of the unknown. The silence of the Antarctic wilderness was both eerie and beautiful, broken only by the sound of the wind and the occasional crack of ice. The sight of the vast expanse of ice stretching out before us was both awe-inspiring and daunting. We witnessed the spectacle of the midnight sun, casting a glow over the icy landscape as far as the eye could see. The colors of the Antarctic landscape were unlike anything I had ever seen before, with shades of blue and white blending together in a mesmerizing display. The towering icebergs, sculpted by the forces of nature, were like works of art floating on the sea. The vast expanse of the Antarctic requires more than just charts and compasses. It requires a deep understanding of the forces of nature and the willingness to adapt to their whims. The movement of the ship became almost hypnotic after a while. I would stand there on the bridge watching the waves go by and lose track of time. The ship, I am happy to say, behaved splendidly. She answered her helm quickly and surely, and I had no difficulty in keeping her on course. She was well equipped with the latest navigational instruments, a marvel of modern engineering. Its reinforced hull designed to withstand the crushing pressure of the ice that surrounded us. We relied on the wireless telegraph for communication with the outside world, but its range was limited, and we often found ourselves isolated from civilization for weeks on end. Out here in the Antarctic, there is no connection to home. You are alone, with only memory to bring you back. Our sleeping quarters were damp, cold, and cramped, leaving no room for extravagance or luxury or comfort of home. A portable standard light in my room representing the height of luxury under polar conditions. When the expedition has left, there is no opportunity to repair any omission or to secure any article that may have been forgotten. Personal hygiene became a secondary concern amidst the harsh conditions of the polar regions. The simple act of bathing was a rare and treasured indulgence. A few of us ventured on baths, but it was chilly work in the open air, with the temperature only 2 degrees above the freezing point. In the icy waters of the Antarctic, even a brief dip was a test of endurance and willpower, only attempted by those who command sheer will, or are of madness of mind. Navigation in these icy waters demands not only skill, but also intuition, for the landscape is ever-changing and treacherous, requiring steady hands and nerves of steel. Yet shore landings were always a moment of excitement and anticipation as we ventured into the unknown, exploring new landscapes and encountering unique wildlife. They were not without their challenges as we faced icy waters and rugged terrain, but each obstacle only added to the sense of adventure and accomplishment. Each camp we established was a temporary sanctuary amidst the unforgiving landscape, a testament to our ability to adapt and survive, a beacon of hope amidst the desolation. As I thought it possible from my previous experience, I resolved to take a motor car. Fitted with a specialty-designed air-cooled 4-cylinder engine and Sims Bosch magneto ignition, Unfortunately, the chief result of this was that we could not place much reliance on the motorcar for the southern journey, because the condition of the surface varied from mile to mile. We would have to rely on traditional methods, either sled dog or standard foot, to explore the great white continent. It is a deep regret and sadness that plagues my heart, knowing that there are vast lands we will never have the chance to explore, lest we, by some miracle, grow wings and take flight. There is a profound sense of awe that comes with standing on the shores of Antarctica. To step into a world of wonder and mystery, where every rock and every creature tells a story of survival against all odds. The whole place seems alive with wildlife. One can find a kind of beauty that is both harsh and fragile. A beauty that demands respect and inspires awe in equal measure. Walking on ice is like navigating a labyrinth of uncertainty, each step a gamble against the forces of nature. Its beauty was undeniable, but it was also unforgiving. Every step was a reminder of our vulnerability, a reminder that nature is always in control. Here one can witness nature in its most pristine and awe-inspiring form, untouched by human hands and unspoiled by civilization. To behold the polar regions is to glimpse the very heart of our planet, to witness the raw power and beauty of the natural world in all its glory. This beauty of the polar regions lies not only in their grandeur and majesty, but also in the delicate balance of life that exists here. The sight of whales breaching the surface filled us with wonder, their haunting echoes through the icy waters stirring something deep within us. To witness the gentle giants of the sea in their natural habitat was a privilege we would never forget. On occasion, we saw a seal on the floe edge buried into safety, followed shortly by a pack of killers looking for prey. There were also very large colonies of penguins, and we went for a walk to see them. They are the most curious little birds you ever saw, and are not in the least afraid of us. Their quaint walk and insatiable curiosity afforded great amusement to our people, who were in ecstasies at the way they communicated their feelings by flapping their makeshift wings. It was amusing to watch them forming up in a line on the edge of the ice and then diving in a turn into the sea like swimmers in a handicap race. How marvelous. In the midst of the Antarctic wilderness, I often found myself dreaming of the simple comforts of home. A warm fire, a cozy bed, the familiar faces of loved ones. While routine is the ally of time, there is no such thing in a polar exploration. We must be ready to break routines when they cease to serve us well. Throw aside our familiar actions in order to deal with the constant threat that nature bears down upon us. We were learning quite a lot about discomfort. I felt as though I were in the presence of superior beings who were capable of dealing with every hardship and difficulty. We were soaked to the skin, and everything we touched seemed to freeze. Frostbite was a common occurrence. The cold seeped into our bones, and the biting wind and freezing temperatures were a constant reminder that survival in this unforgiving landscape required courage and determination. Sometimes you had to relax and let life happen, and things will work out in the end. Our cuisine was not incredibly varied, but a voracious appetite has no discernment. We found ourselves subsisting on meager rations, stretching our supplies as best we could. It is, of course, a great nuisance to have pemmican hoosh for every meal, and indeed, all one wants is more. But this is just what cannot be allowed if a party is to achieve anything in the Antarctic. One thing is for sure, I'm going to eat some hearty food after all this hardship. Of course, there was a selection of tea, both English, Ceylon, and black. I, however, am a coffee fanatic. Once you go to proper coffee, you simply cannot go back. We used to have a little whiskey in the evenings. Alcohol has been used for centuries as a means of preserving and celebrating life in extreme conditions, and we must treat it with respect and moderation. Entertainment is not a luxury, but a necessity. We had music in the evenings and theatrical performances. Some played cards or chess to pass the time. Some lost better than others, while others wrote letters home. We do have plenty of good books, and whenever we are not on duty, we spend our time in reading, as much as can be gained from the written word, and transport us to worlds yet known. Music and laughter have a way of transcending the hardship of our journey. A hearty laugh can warm the coldest hearts and lift the heaviest of burdens. The success of our expeditions was not measured by individual feats, but by the collective strength and resilience of our crew. Those who journeyed with me were not just comrades, but family, bound by a common purpose and an unbreakable spirit. In the company of friends, even the most daunting challenges seem conquerable. The greatest reward of exploration is not the discovery of new lands, but the deepening of friendships forged along the way. We all turned out to cheer the successful venturers. We gave 3 cheers and took a last look at the place where we had spent so many happy days. We shook hands all around and opened champagne, which tasted like nectar to the war-worn people. The loved ones at home were well. The world was pleased with our work, and it seemed as though nothing but happiness could ever enter life again. Indeed, the stark polar lands grip the hearts of those who have lived them in a manner that can hardly be understood by the people who have never got outside the pale of civilization. It is in the face of adversity that we discover the true purpose of our journey. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Dedicated to the friends of Table 50 and the amazing crew of Quark's Ultramarine exploratory vessel. All of the adventure, none of the frostbite.